I hope this comes off. Alright, I finally got it loose. So this is what I did to it. You see that groove I cut in it? I didn't even go all the way through the back. I barely put a tiny little scratch right here. What I used is a carbide bit on a Dremel, and all I did was set it on top, and it probably took me about 20 minutes to do this. And once I got it thin enough, I took a chisel and I tapped it in there and split it. So now this comes off. You can see that's the little scratch I made on it. So now you have these 9/16 bolts, and you got some hidden under some of this dirt. Alright, so now that these bolts are out, this lid comes off, which is probably stuck, obviously. It's not stuck anymore. There we go. This right here is the counter shaft, and that's what needs to drop down. Okay, so I believe this is the part that everybody gets stuck on. Whenever you take the yoke off, and then the next thing you need to do, the next piece that needs to come out is this input shaft. It has a split in it right here with needle bearings inside of it. It comes apart, right? So what you have to do to get it out, and you have a bearing right here, but I had already pulled it out and kind of just stuck them back in, but this one is loose on the shaft itself. On my part 1 video, I show where I use my 2-jaw puller to get behind it and pull this one out. And right now I'm just using a screwdriver because it's only halfway in. This one is the one that's very hard to get out. It's going to be pretty much flush with the case and just have this one groove in it. And I think it might be able to move back and forth a little bit. It's not going to be stuck to the case, it's going to be stuck on the shaft itself. And it actually does feel like an interference fit. Okay, so I somehow magically got this to hook. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Okay, so once you have the counter shaft where it just dropped down about maybe like a ½ an inch, now this can come out. And this isn't exactly a super tight press fit either. I've done a few of these, and I've always managed to use this tool to get all these bearings off. Okay, on this shaft, on this gear, there's a flat spot. Just look in there. You have to put that flat spot facing down, and then with some kind of puller like this, you can grab it, and with not very much force, it'll come out. I could probably almost do it with my hand, but alright, you see it already came loose. And inside here you're gonna have like needle bearings, probably like 10 of them, and you know, they'll usually fall out, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I already took this apart and put it back together just to kind of show it. So once this comes out, you have one of the synchronizer rings right here that might as well just take it out so you don't damage it or squish it. So here goes a very tricky part. Okay, on this one, on this bearing right here, it's kind of a press fit on the shaft, but it fits loose. It's probably bound up somehow, but this can slide back and forth loose in the case. It's stuck on the shaft. It's only halfway back on right now, but I was able to use this tool right here with two levers, and I was able to pull it off of the shaft. So I guess it's not really a real interference fit or nothing. It was just kind of stuck. Okay, my best advice on this one, this is the one that took a lot of force. But this small puller was able to produce that force. You just couldn't really grab it. I got lucky and grabbed a little edge. Somehow it magically caught. But that's not a very safe way to do it. That's not a very reliable way. What you could do, if you have a few pieces of steel, what I almost did is if you put this on there like that and got you a piece of steel and drilled a hole in it like this size, and then replaced, you know, took these out and kind of replaced it. You see what I'm saying? Where you'll grab that, and that would probably work. Here goes the very tricky part. I'm going to say to leave it straight, and I think it helps. I might be doing this for nothing, but I think it helps if you put the reverse gear. If you put the reverse gear back, I think it actually helps. Oh no, that might be the opposite way. Either way. So you take this out like this, just tilt it up. And that comes out. The counter shaft's ready to come out too. In order to take all these gears and stuff off, I think that one just has a snap ring and slides off. May or may not be pressed on. I think it could be either way. It could be tight or just come off. Not sure. Some of these other gears, whatever you want to take off of this, that's some kind of sleeve I think comes off. A bearing tool like this that grabs stuff and you have to use a press, you should be able to take the rest of it apart. This transmission was popping out of second gear. So I'm going to take a few moments to figure out what is second gear. Okay, I kind of figured it out the simple way. Whenever this locks in right here, that'll make it 1-to-1. So that has to be high gear. That has to be fourth. So fourth is going to be, with the lever, it's going to be like 3 and 4. So that means that what gate you're on is going to be what slider you're on. So 3 and 4 should be like 4th and 3, 4 and 3. You see what I'm saying? So that means that this is the gear, whenever it's in this position, we're going to call this a 4-speed 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't care about no granny gear calling it lower, whatever, just to be clear about everything. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. What it actually is, I don't really care, but that's the way I'm going to be describing it. So anyway, contrary to popular belief, people would tell you that, oh, when it's popping out of gear, oh, it's the synchronizers. The brass synchronizers, replace them and you're good to go. No, the synchronizer is what gets it into gear. Whenever these little teeth and stuff, whenever they have torque on there, somehow the shapes of these is what holds it in gear. So supposedly whenever they're rounded off at the edges, that's what makes it pop out of gear. To be honest with you, I can't even tell anything's wrong with it. But one thing I can tell you is on this slider, there's a lot of like powdered metal in here. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of powdered metal. Well, I'll be honest with you, I don't see what's wrong with it. I don't understand why it's popping out a second. But I'm pretty sure the way to solve that is that synchronizer hub is that piece in the middle, and this is the synchronizer drum. Some people call this a slider, some people call that, they don't even know what it is because they just don't know about it. No, I don't even know whatever. But I'm pretty sure when they pop out of gear, it's an issue between these two components and not the brass synchronizers. But I mean, I'll just have to admit that I don't really see. I don't have no real proof. Just that powdered metal and stuff is a little bit of evidence that something got chewed up, but I don't really see. Well, what I really mean is it can be that. Like maybe it could be the detent on the shifters or something. I even had one that was popping out of gear because my Samurai had a body lift, and it makes the angle of the edge of the body whenever the stick shifts in second, it was closer, so it popped it out of gear. And I took the boot off, and I thought I had a bad transmission. That's all it was. I'm just saying that inside the transmission, I'm pretty sure that's what will cause it to pop out of gear. But anyway, whatever.